Hey, do you want to pay money to kiss me yet? We might fall in love. Even if you wear a red flag, I won't see it. As long as you're hot. Hey y'all, what's up? I could no longer resist the urge, so here we are. It's about the kissing booth. The movie, not the concept. I wish it were about the concept, then maybe I wouldn't be so mad. But it's fine, because content, right? So for starters, this movie follows three characters. Our Manic Pixie Dream Girl, sorry. I don't know what I... Our main character is Elle Evans. My understanding is that Elle is a junior in high school, along with her best friend, Lee Flynn, our second character. And our third character is Noah Flynn, Lee Flynn's older brother. And the hottest kid in school. So right off the bat, this movie spends the first 4 minutes establishing the fact that Lee and Elle are best friends, and have been since quite literally birth. Because watching the movie isn't enough to establish their bond, apparently. Part of their being best friends forever is that they came up with friend rules, and no one is allowed to break these rules. I can see how as a kid making rules for your friendship could be fun. It's like being in a secret club. But like, y'all, you're in high school. Come on. It's also like low-key toxic to think that you can tell your best friend what they can and can't do. Cut that out! Anyways, back to the movie. Once we're past the building up the history part, it begins with a classic, whoa, girl has a body, which isn't funny. It just feels like an excuse to do really sexual shots, which is like, gross. Like, ew. That's a minor. In case you forgot, Elle is a minor. I don't care if the actor is 19. The movie is sexualizing a high schooler. Unpopular opinion, but I am right. So Elle is walking around in a skirt that is way too short, and a guy grabs her ass. He gets in trouble for obvious reasons, and she gets detention for breaking the dress code. The two of them are talking, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I'll do anything to make it up with you. Will you go on a date with me? I will literally do anything, I'm so sorry. And after a whole apology event, she accepts. What? I'm sorry, but I don't care how good the apology is. If somebody sexually harasses you, probably shouldn't go on a date with them. So after the dude grabbed Elle, Lee tried to fight him. It didn't work. So Noah tackles him. He straight up just takes him out. Like, dude, go out for football or something, because that was a solid tackle, I'll give you that. The dude ends up standing up Elle, and it turns out that it's because Noah more or less threatened him. I'm honestly starting to think that Elle might be like colorblind because she has not seen any of these red flags. Anyways, the movie is called The Kissing Booth because Elle and Lee are in a dance club together, and they do a kissing booth as a fundraiser. So for the first 40 or so minutes, Elle is trying to convince Noah to do the kissing booth because everybody wants him there. He doesn't do it. At one point she tries to convince him at a party, and she gets really drunk. In fact, she gets so drunk that she starts to undress while standing on a table. And no one stops her. Again, sexualizing a minor. And also, Lee, bestie, you're watching this, and you're just letting it happen. At least try to stop her, bestie. She's drunk. You know this. Actually, Noah picks her up and takes her away. The only good thing he does the whole movie. It should be common decency, but the bar is pretty low for this one. Anyway, so some stuff goes down, and at the kissing booth, Lee gets a girlfriend, and Elle and Noah have this big kiss that's super perfect. I cannot believe that at this point there is still an hour left. But here we are. And so Elle tells Lee that she kissed Noah, but it meant nothing. Noah drives Elle home in the rain on his motorcycle. Elle and Noah kiss under a gazebo, and then a security guard catches them. And he says, Noah, I told you to stop bringing girls around here. Elle is pissed, and she storms off. Then there's another party, and another guy hits on Elle. Noah's getting ready to fight this guy, and Elle's like, don't do it. Don't do it. He still wants to do it. Elle storms off. Noah follows. And here it is, folks. Peak red flag. The moment that keeps me up at night. My very own waking nightmare. Noah is yelling at Elle to get in the car, and Elle is ignoring him. I would too. Then, Noah hits the car and yells at her to get in. She literally jolts and freezes in place, and then gets in the car. I can understand getting into the car out of fear, because you don't know what they're going to do if you don't get in. But they proceed to drive to a remote location and hook up, and keep hooking up. And basically they start dating in secret because Lee can't know. Seriously, what? Don't romanticize that behavior. And if we still aren't sure that the red flags are amounting to anything, hopefully this will seal the deal for you. Because it doesn't for Elle. Elle falls and hurts herself, and Noah tends to the wound. He knows how to do that from getting into so many fights. Lee walks in and sees Noah tending to the wound, and instantly asks if he's the one who hurt Elle. I feel like in most situations, you don't assume that the person who is tending to the wound is the person who caused the wound, unless you know that they're capable of it. Anyways, Lee finds out about them, and Elle breaks up with Noah and tries to make things up with Lee. But Lee isn't having it, because Elle broke the rule. Don't date each other's siblings. Stupid. But eventually they make up, and they go to the dance together along with Lee's girlfriend, where Noah makes a huge gesture to try and get Elle back. But she runs off because she loves Noah, why, but doesn't want to lose Lee. Eventually she confronts Lee and she says, "Hey, you're my best friend, and I care about you and I don't want to lose you, but you have no right to tell me who I can and can't like." Which she's right about that. So then Elle runs to stop Noah from leaving for college, to tell him that she loves him. And they all live happily ever after. Lee is still her best friend. Telling him off actually worked. It's a classic rom-com with a serious lack of interesting framing, and subpar morals. Seriously, I don't like that I feel uncertain that their relationship is legal. She's obviously a minor because they celebrate hers and Lee's 17th birthday during the movie. And then Noah goes off to college. I'm pretty sure he's 18. But anyways, yeah. Don't watch this movie. 0 out of 10. Maybe a 0.5 out of 10 because Lee seems kind of cool once he realizes that the rules aren't fair. But it romanticizes some of the biggest red flags I think I've ever seen when it comes to serious anger issues. And it doesn't even indicate that Noah knows he has this problem and wants to change. I plan to never watch this movie again, but I don't think I'll ever be able to forget it. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Did you know that 1% of the people who subscribe to me don't regret it later? That means that if you subscribe, you could be a part of the majority.